Time to talk money with our personal finance expert, Mary Holm. Hi there.
Hi, Jesse. And I love, you had two songs right from my era, Stop in the Name of Love and Turn, 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 from my teenage years. Wonderful.
I just think of that sort of Laurel Canyon era when I think of Turn, Turn, Turn. It was, when folk became kind of electric and the rest of the world got interested.
Yes.
Hey,
wonderful.
Great topic to start off 2023. What's got you thinking about this?
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of negativity around the economy lately and people's finances and, possible economic downturn, inflation, etc., interest rates, which are higher rates, great for term deposits, not so good for people with mortgages, etc. And it all felt a bit gloomy, and I thought, let's start the year on a more positive note. So I started thinking about money and happiness and what sort of spending makes people happy.
It's a fascinating question.
Yeah, it is. And when you go online, there is a heck of a lot of research being done on it. Some of the research probably not all that widespread, but some of it, quite major research. And a little bit of it conflicting, actually. There's, like, for example, most people say spending on experiences rather than goods, products, tends to make you happier. There was one piece of research that said, well, for poorer people, spending on products can actually make them as happy as experiences. And they were sort of speculating that, richer people have got all the goods they really need.
But if it's something that's going to improve your life in a way that is an experience,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes, that's true. But then other research said even poor people find experiences more valuable to them in the end than things. So this is all kind of vague science, I think, but I think it's an interesting thing for people to just be thinking about.
Thought-provoking.
Yes.
Can I share some of the messages our listeners sent?
Sure.
So I asked you what sort of spending makes you happy. The spending that makes me happy, this is quite a specific one from Robin, is the fabric and lace for the little dolls I make for the Children's Hospital. It fills my heart with joy knowing they'll bring joy to the children. So I guess it's sort of charitable spending, and it's all kind of spending on a hobby as well, I guess.
Yes.
We paid for our children to come home for Christmas from Melbourne, and that was money spent that made us happy, says Joe. The money I spend at an art store provides me with unlimited happiness. It feeds my creative processes, allowing focus away from external pressures and world issues. Thanks, Julie. I love buying organic meat, and it definitely makes me happy when I'm eating it, says Donna. My favourite spending is donations to climate action groups because it feels like I'm taking real action against the climate disaster. Susie says I get the most fun from using my money to help other people. I'll happily spend more on a gift if it will improve things for somebody. And here's a nice one. Spending that makes me happiest, easy, family adventures. We've just got back from 7 months in Italy with our 2 teenage girls. A lean few months ahead now, but we wouldn't have it any other way, from Rebecca and
Brilliant. So quite a few of them feed right into the 5 categories I've sort of come up with here. Before we get on to those, there is a short-term buzz that people often get from buying new clothes, new furniture, just buying anything at a good price. It's surprising how happy that makes people in the short term. I got something for half price, Even
is happiness the right word?
Well, elation, perhaps excitement. But the research tends to suggest that buying things, clothes and that sort of thing, once you've worn them a couple of times, it's kind of just old hat and doesn't really last for long. Whereas these other categories are more likely perhaps to give you a longer term good feelings. The first I've got here is the sort of dreariest in a way, and that is spending on things that will get rid of your money worries. For example,
I told my wife about this one last night. I said I was talking to you. She's like, "What? Paying down debt? It's not going to make me happy."
No, well, indeed, paying down debt or getting insurance or getting increased insurance or emergency money is certainly not, doesn't give you a thrill. But I suggest that people who are in big debt or haven't got enough insurance, and God knows people are seeing that right now with all the weather-related problems, in the long run, I think it makes people underneath it all feel a bit insecure if they're in big debt, or they haven't got any life insurance, for example, and they've got a young family, or all these different situations. Yeah, look, it's not short-term happy. I'm with your wife on that, but I think it's kind of makes you more content, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And less stress.
Maybe if you were to look at the thing that would make the biggest difference to your happiness overall in life, even if it's not any sort of short-term happiness, paying the insurance bill.
Yes, look, it's...
But you'll be very pleased if you ever have to make an insurance claim.
Well, yes, yes, certainly,
Okay.
yeah.
Come on, Mary, you can do something more
Moving
fun
on to
than
the
that.
more exciting ones, the idea of spending money on experiences, which came through in quite a few of the texts you had there, experiences especially with other people who matter to you. So it might be going to a concert, it might be travel, it might be just having coffee with a friend sometimes. I mean, I'm not that happy with those financial advisors who say cut back on the coffees or cut back on the avocado on toast and all that, because sometimes those are things that really give your day or your week a lift, that you really look forward to having a coffee with a friend on a Saturday morning or something like that, and that's important. It's good stuff. Yeah.
It's not about the coffee sometimes.
Not at all. No, indeed. It's catching up with a friend. But if you said, well, I'm cutting back on coffees to save money, and therefore you don't end up meeting with your friend, well, then not good news. Not good.
I think just on the coffee one, I don't buy coffee anymore, but back when I did, it was just something I kind of did, even if I wouldn't really feel like a coffee, but there's a cafe there, and
yes.
You got some loose change in your pocket, and so you go in and you don't really think about it. I think people
point.
are pretty happy to cut back on that sort of the spending where it doesn't really mean anything to you one way or the other.
That is a good point. I think I find at a certain point in the morning I get up and make myself a cup of coffee because I work from home. Yeah. And quite often I don't really feel like it, but you just kind of do it. Yeah. And if it's at home, of course, it doesn't cost much money, but still it is something to think about, whether you're just doing something on automatic or whether it's really making you feel happier. A lot of the comments about spending on experiences is that you look forward to it and then you enjoy it while it's on and then you look back on it. Yeah. And years ago I realised that when I was living in America, some of my friends, I had a few Australian and Kiwi friends there, and sometimes they'd come back to New Zealand and not tell their family they were coming. They'd do it as a surprise. Yeah. And I thought about it and I thought, no, my parents got a lot of happiness out of planning what they would do, what we would all do together when inviting people around.
You're robbing them of a really lovely few weeks where they get to tell all their friends that your daughter's coming back.
Yeah. And all the fun of it, and so I think you want to value the looking forward and the looking back as much as the actual time you're doing it.
I can imagine if you were taking a child to Disneyland. Imagine if you didn't tell them until the day. They'd miss out on all those weeks of excitement.
Half the pleasure. Yes, I think so. And research has also shown that when you ask people what they regret in their lives, it's very often experiences that they didn't take an opportunity. I mean, a silly little example is friends of mine were living in Buenos Aires for quite a while, and they kept saying, come and stay, and we never quite got round to it. And I've always thought, gosh, when you go and stay with someone in a place where they know the city and it's an unusual place like that, and another one is not going to England for my best friend's wedding, and it's those sort of things that can you think of any like that for you?
Yeah, I'm thinking of the time I got outbid for a Neil Young concert when I was in London. I've subsequently seen him, but I'd never seen him at that point, and he's my favourite artist, and I was online bidding for a ticket, and it was just another £5, and I thought, oh, nah.
Oh, yes. So these are when we don't sit here and think, gosh, I wish I had bought a new couch back in 1990. So
the thing is, if I'd seen Neil Young in London would I be thinking about that extra £5 now that I'd spent? No.
Yes. That there is a lesson in that. Sometimes it is worth bidding up a little bit, paying a bit more. It's another category, because we probably haven't got endless time here, is changes that give you more time. To spend with family and friends, or to reduce your stress. And obvious things are hiring other people to do some chores for you, such as perhaps hiring a cleaner or someone to do DIY stuff around the house that's just sitting there and you stare at it and never get round to doing it.
Yeah.
Hire someone else to get that off your list. One suggestion I saw was you can buy some time, possibly by moving to live nearer your work, so you're not wasting so much time commuting. I mean, there are different ways that you can buy time with money.
I was thinking about that on the weekend. We bought lots of stories from Jessie's life today. Sorry, everyone.
It's all good.
We bought my daughter a beanbag for her 12th birthday. Really good present.
Yes.
And the beanbag filling arrived by courier. My wife had organised that, and I was just thinking a few years ago when we drove out to this store in the North Shore and bought the beanbag filling, and how long it took the two of us to go all the way out to the North Shore, get the beanbag filling, come on back. Aside from the petrol that we spent doing it, it would have been an hour at least of our lives.
Yes.
And so just by using a mail order service, a courier service, we actually bought that hour back.
That's really good.
For $5 or $6.
Really good point. Yeah, so all the buying on the internet saves us huge amounts of time. Yeah. Yes. And when you think the other day it cost me $10 to get something, and I thought, oh, that's quite a lot. Yeah. And then I thought, well, I would have gone out of my way when I came into town the next time and spent quite a lot of time getting that item. So it's.
I saw someone today suggesting when someone schedules a meeting with you on Google Calendar, they should have to put what the meeting is going to cost for everybody's time that's coming along.
Wow. Yes, and then you get into my hour is worth more than your hour, but all of that stuff. But a fourth category, we've got 5 here, is buying beautiful things.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I'm not talking so much about clothes and that, although occasionally they would qualify, I suppose. But we're talking about art, we're talking about beautiful plant to add to your garden.
Or for April, our listener who buys native trees, she really enjoys spending her money on that.
Yes. They're beautiful things that you can look at. Or it might be a really good novel or some kind of creative work. At the same time, you're supporting the artist, which, if you're buying locally, that can be... So
you're fostering the sort of world that you want to create.
Yes, and, you can look at this item. I'm in the middle of commissioning a painting from a local person, actually, because I loved her work in a local gallery, and I went to her and said, hey, can you do one for me? And it's partly because I'm really looking forward to the picture, but I'm also... like the fact that she's not making huge amounts of money from her art, and so that's a nice bonus for the whole thing. And that actually leads into the last one, which is spending on other people, and that came through again in the messages you had. Charities, spending. The one piece of research just looked at a whole lot of people who were the same in every way, except one lot gave to charity and another lot didn't, and they found the ones that gave to charity were happier people. It could be the other way around. Maybe if you're happy, you're more inclined to... I don't know. But and then there's,
you're maybe more likely to be connected to your community and have empathy and have good relationships, possibly.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's all intertwined, isn't it, really? But shouting a friend to, just suddenly saying, hey, I've got dinner tonight, or whatever. Buying a really appropriate gift. I mean, buying gifts ranges from, oh God, I've got to get someone something for someone. And
Christmas is coming up, got to buy 9 things. So let me rush off to department store and get them all.
And it can't look too mean,
As opposed to just having an idea in the middle of the year and thinking, oh my gosh, this would be exactly what this person needs right now. And you buy it and you can't wait to give it to them.
That's right. That makes a huge difference, doesn't it? And you're just anticipating their pleasure in getting, which usually happens, doesn't always, of course, but it's the one final category that some people said was self-improvement, spending money on the gym and eating well and all that, but I don't think that quite belongs in our list somehow. I think a lot of these are about other people, actually, spending time with other people, giving things to other people. In the end, it's corny, but it kind of does tend to make people happier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd put that last one, maybe put it in the hobby category. Like I've heard from a guy who enjoys spending money on golf. I've got to say, I'd probably enjoy buying fishing gear.
Yes.
My wife would really enjoy buying a pair of running shoes.
No, that's really true. And I just bought a better camera because I love photography and and I love using it. So you're right. That isn't another category really. Buying things that help you. So it's not the thing as such. It's what it enables you to do, what activities it enables you to do.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
What a great list.
Yeah. Have you got any others that have come in, or are we a bit short of time?
Just this one. This person works. I've got a bit of an interest in this. They're a cut flower grower at the Tauranga Floral Hub. And speaking of buying beautiful things, they say, I always think cut flowers are the luxury that you can afford.
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah, or even just going outside and picking wildflowers, actually.
Yeah.
But yes.
And the best $99 I spent lately was on a last-minute ticket to Elton John in Christchurch. We didn't even sit in the seats. We danced all night. He was so good.
Gosh, and they're lucky they made it. Their concert happened.
Yeah,
yes,
indeed.
yeah, but
Thanks,
good
Mary.
example. Yes, thanks, Jessie.
Great conversation today. Mary Holm.
See you.
MaryHolm.com if you'd like more from her, and she'll be back in a couple of weeks tackling another area of personal finance. She's in every second Thursday with us here on RNZ National.